Gordon Pepper, and I am here with your Southeast heavyweight champion from the Hitman, Mr. James Kniffen. James, how are you doing today?
Gordon, I'm doing well. How about you, sir?
I am doing very good. You've had a very, very active year, and even without the 3 months that you haven't really done much, it's still been a very active year between last year's Battle Bowl to this year's maybe Battle Bowl.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a little bit of a whirlwind year for me. Like you mentioned, Battle Bowl last year was kind of a redemption tour for me. Ended up defeating Kyle Troop and Pete Weber for my Storm contract. Got the patch on under my belt.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that a little later. Absolutely.
Yep. Awesome. And then from there, that was kind of leveling up, so to speak, for me throughout the rest of the year. I've been striking a ton, and I mean, the first 3 months of this year, I think I averaged a combined 245 between all league and tournament play. So
yeah,
it's been going on a tear. It's been a lot of fun.
You've been gangbusters on that. I definitely want to chat with you a little bit about that. But I do want to ask you some questions, obviously. And let's start with this past Mega Bowl when you bowled against Alex Prell. And
yeah, I'm going to stop you right there, Gordon. Hang on for a second.
Okay.
If that's what we're going to be talking about, I'd like to bring my special advisor onto this call, if that's okay with you.
Oh, okay. Let's see your special advisor.
All right.
Hey, everybody. It's Kevin Decker.
This is my special advisor, team owner of the Hitman, Kevin Decker.
Team owner of the Hitman, when we were both working the World Championship Series, he was the Southeast coordinator.
At one time, yes.
At one time. Right now, he's now president. He does other things like myself. We both do different things for the UBA, and we'll see where everything winds up being in the fall. So, Mr. Special Advisor, the first thing that I'm going to ask Mr. Kniffen is a little bit about his match with Alex Prell over at Mega Bowl. Alex had some words to talk about during his interview, and I have this feeling that there may be a rebuttal coming on. So, the floor is yours, Mr. Advisor.
Yeah, so I watched his video when it first came out, watched it again today, just to make sure I heard everything right, where he said he handed the match to James. But funny, even when he said he handed it to James, he said there was a couple times where James got 8 to lose the match. That sounds like James handed him games. So he can look at it one way. And then he also said James didn't have a chance until the South got there. So you're not good under pressure? All the other Northeast champs seem fine with it. I mean, the guy had to win his belt at his own home house.
Anyway, let's move on from this a little bit here, because before we look at Battle Bowl, if there's going to be a Battle Bowl, we don't know what's going to go on in Delaware at this point. Obviously, a lot of people are hoping that there will be at least some sort of sanity or normalcy. And if that happens, there's been a rumor that you may have to defend the title before then, or maybe during the event against the number one contender, Mr. Josh Pittman. Talk to me a little bit about that.
I don't see it happening before then. That's just my own personal opinion. But if he has the bowl, Josh, wherever it's at, Hitman win everywhere. We've proven that time after time again. It's right, unless he's bowling this week, which apparently Hitman are really bad the third week of July. But it's not. It's not the third week of July, so we're good.
Oh, I wasn't going to actually, yes, I was going to discuss that a little bit, but
yeah, no, you've escaped the third week curse.
That's true. Well, the Hitmen aren't going to be bowling anything the third week of July. Fourth week of August may be a different story, and let's just say that you do win the North versus South match, and let's just say that if there is a title match, you successfully defend. Next step up is someone that I also have had an interview with, Mr. Dennis Kilo, who is your world champion. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, we're kind of hoping maybe Dennis doesn't want to show up. I mean, he is getting up there in age, so I mean, he's high risk. I mean, that could be the best plan of action. Keep the whole pandemic going, and he's high risk.
This is why he's my special advisor.
Think about everything.
Okay, so well, let's actually, I'm going to shift gears a little bit here. Let's talk about your success, because last season, you were, as you said, you were the one-third week of July away from getting the Battle Bowl. This past year, before coronavirus stopped everything in its tracks, you were in a really solid position to make a very strong postseason run. How much of that is James Kniffen a contributor to?
He's a huge contributor to it. I mean, he's one of our best bowlers on our team, one of our smartest bowlers on our team, because one of the things that we do differently than most teams, a lot of teams just put 9 bowlers out there. I don't put 9 bowlers out there. I put 9 people who work together out there. So just because you have 3 guys over on scratch pair for our team, they're going to make sure the guys on handicap 1 or handicap 2 are lined up as well. So they're not just looking out for themselves, they're looking out for everybody. And James is a huge part of that. He's super smart, super intelligent when it comes to overall bowling. And a lot of our guys look to him for advice.
And there was actually a tour stop, I forget which one, but I bowled on a handicap pair. I bowled on handicap 2.
Yep.
Because of exactly what my special advisor said, is team synergy and helping out my teammates. And it's not a sport of 9 individuals. It's a team sport.
Yep.
And the more you view it like that, the more success you have. If you don't believe me, go talk to Outrage. Heard they're okay.
Yeah, they're decent.
Yeah, they're sort of kind of good. They sort of kind of good. They have some sort of a team goal that they have that every team wants to sort of snag from them. Though that's the one team that sort of got saved by the coronavirus, because if the playoffs started, they would not be part of it.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of go with a different strategy than a lot of other teams. And I mean, it has worked for them in the past. It definitely worked last year. I mean, they won the world championship. Can't argue with that. But I would think they only use like 12 to 15 bowlers throughout the entire season. They go with their people no matter what building you're in. And me personally, yes, a bowler is a bowler, but I always use advantages. If, say, somebody is not good in a building, don't start them in a building. I don't think Outrage really looks at that. They just go with a bowler is a bowler is a bowler is a bowler.
A lot of different teams use different strategies. You can't argue with yours. Hitman have been up there every single year. They are really, really good in terms of their alignment and what they do. So definitely taking nothing away from that. Now, you're talking before about you getting the Little Storm contract, and you got that by defeating the team of Pete Weber and Carl Troop. Now, what's your thoughts on, because you're talking about a team, what's your thoughts about taking, let's just say, PDW on one-on-one?
Well, I'll speak up. I'm gonna flip it over to Kyle, because he's actually bowling Kyle next weekend in a heads-up match. They're bowling for $1,000 next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
At Triad Lanes. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, because apparently saying that is a bad word in the state of North Carolina. But apparently you say you're going to bowl at Triad and people call the police. So
I'm going to point this out now, just in case this comes out later. This is being taped the day before the North Carolina Supreme Court is going to make a judgment on whether or not North Carolina bowling alleys are going to be open and stay open for this weekend. As of right now, they are open. They could overturn that, and the alleys could be closed.
Technically, no, they're not allowed to be open right now. The Supreme Court gave a stay to the governor, and we're technically not allowed to be open, but a lot of the bowling centers are just kind of saying, F it, because at this point, we're like the only state in America right now that's not opening bowling centers. It's a little lunacy, but I'm not going to get into too much politics on this.
Well, the 2 states that I know of that the bowling alleys are not open in is North Carolina and New York, both of which, of course, are UBA hotbeds, so everybody is waiting for alleys in at least one, if not both states, to open up.
Yep. But back to what we were talking about. If James has to bowl Kyle, he's going to beat him. Kyle, it looks great to see him on TV, and he's bowling on super hard patterns. That's not what he's bowling on down here. These we're bowling on house shot. These guys, sure, they say they know how to bowl on house shot. It's easy to say that, but he lost to my client last year, their heads-up scores, James beat him.
That is true.
Pete, James beat him. I mean,
You
didn't
Mr.
beat-
Special Advisor, no, Pete beat me by 5 pounds.
cool.
He sort of flattened PDW like a steamroller.
Yeah,
actually.
and that's what would happen again. Because Pete would have no clue what to do with the rev rate that James has. He's going to make a move all over the place. Pete's going to fry out.
I hear Pete doesn't like it when people put chamois on his bowling balls either.
Just
So
put a
that's
chamois on
a
his ball.
tactic as well.
Fear the chamois. So now let's just say, for argument's sake, that because a lot of people that have held the gold, or in this case the silver or the belt, have gone into tag team, Kevin Decker being one of those people that have actually held the tag team belt. So, and now we have 2 of them. We've got a capped and an unlimited. So let's just say, Kevin, that you decide that you want to put James in. I'm going to ask Kevin because he's the special advisor. So, sorry, James. But special advisor, let's just say that you decide that you're going to send him into the tag team ranks. Are you going to put him to capped or unlimited, and who are you going to put him with?
I would put him in unlimited, and he is going to be in the Tag Team Unlimited series this year. Unfortunately, we lost Chuck Ritchie from Hitman this past opt-out season.
Right.
And as some people may have saw, Chuck was in the title match for the brand new Southeast Tag Team belts with Bob Benton. That's actually going to be James's new partner. So Bob was already super successful with Chuck. Bob is actually one of the biggest reasons why James beat Alex Prell at Mega Bowl, because Bob is just as smart as James, and Bob actually gave him the idea to make the move that he did that pushed him ahead of Alex.
Yeah. So to clarify this, Mr. Special Advisor, if I may.
Go for it.
Alex claimed that the crowd was what gave the momentum. What actually gave the momentum was the frame before everybody walked over. I talked to Bob. He suggested a complete strategic change from how I had been playing lanes previously. I made that change, and I won the match. People can cheer for me. They can cheer against me. I don't really give a damn. I'm here to knock down pins and strike more than the other guy.
And he did.
He did. Now I'm going to assume, of course, Mr. Special Advisor, that you consider James Kniffen to be a significant upgrade over Chuck Ritchie in that tag team position.
I do. I'm not saying Chuck's not a fantastic bowler, and hell, the last month, Chuck's been probably the hottest bowler in North Carolina. He has been on fire lately.
Chuck got within one match of the number 1 contenders match in heavyweight, so Chuck knows what he's doing. I believe he got as high as number 4 in the heavyweight list.
Yeah, that's not that.
It is not that.
So, I mean, Chuck's a fantastic bowler. It is a tough loss for our team. He's been here since day 1, but he wanted to stay closer to home. Can never fault somebody for wanting to stay closer to home, but I will say that I think James and Bob are a better team.
Mm-hmm. Very well said. I can't wait to see what they do together as a tag team. That's going to be a lot of fun. And that will once again continue the sort of Hitman rivalry, even though I believe that you guys have the tag team titles already. So
yes, we do. And I don't believe we're ever going to lose them. The only team that's going to beat them is another Hitman team. I mean, nobody's beating Senzo and Yo-Yo unless they're from our team.
I was going to say that is going to be one heck of a matchup if we see that in that Bob and James versus Senzo and Yo-Yo. That's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, Mr. Advisor, I'd like to give the floor to you if there's anything else that I didn't touch on that you would like to discuss. Floor is yours.
Well, I mean, Hitmen have been in a different district every single year that we've been in the UBA. First year they put us in the capital, we won. Second year they put us in the intercoastal, we won. Next year they put us back in the capital, we won by 100. Third year they put us in the triad, or the fourth year, I'm sorry. This last year we were in the triad. We were winning. Yes, season was shortened. You can put an asterisk. They didn't put an asterisk on my check, so it's still cashed into the bank.
I was I was going to say,
amazing.
first place prorated check is still a first place prorated check.
Absolutely. And this next year, tentatively, we're going back to the Capitol. We're going back to the Capitol. I will fight tooth and nail for that, because sending my team around like we're the black sheep is a bit silly. But we're going to be in the Capitol next year. We're going to win by 100 again. There's no one close enough to us. And if we can ever figure out week 3, I feel sorry for every single Northeast team that we bowl at Battle Bowl, because we are going to wipe the floor with every single one of them. And eventually, we're going to hit it on week 3 of July. We're not going to keep missing. We're too good of a team. We're too deep, and it's just going to happen.
Okay. Thank you very much, James. Thank you, Kevin, Special Advisor Decker.
Yes, sir.
For this. I'm sure this is not going to be the last time that I'm going to be talking to either of you, so that's going to be fun as always. So, for the Hitmen, this is Gordon Pepper signing off saying, see you next time, UBA all day.